Hello again everyone, this is Vincent and this is episode 5 of the Particulars Let's Play. So we are playing chapter 5. Alright, so in chapter 5 we finally meet a new fundamental force, the gravitational force. It isn't too complex, in my opinion it's even easier to understand than the electromagnetic force. The gravitational force is basically any two things with mass will attract each other. And how strong that force is dependent on the mass and the separation distance. Okay, enough of me ranting. Basically in this level, so here in the middle, we see a black hole. So black holes are pretty much the only thing in the game where you have to worry about the gravitational force. Other particles, they theoretically do apply gravitational force, but it's so small and weak compared to the other forces that you really don't worry about it. It's just black holes. So black holes, as you can read in the text box, they attract particles because other particles have mass. It sucks them in and destroys them. That can include you, so you can also die by getting sucked into a black hole. And it loses mass in bursts. So as every couple of seconds or so, it decays and it loses some mass. It can completely decay if you let it, but generally in this chapter we don't want it to. Basically and here it shows the current mass. There's a few other quirks with black holes that we will see later. So basically in this level we have to collect 5 data. So basically a bunch of up and down quark pairs are going to spawn and they're just going to spin around the place. And they're going to eventually annihilate, so just be careful of the anti-down quarks as well. And just pick up the data. Try and pick up the data far away from the black hole, because the closer you are to the black hole, the stronger the force is. And then it becomes a pain to try and get out of it. And it will probably kill you if you aren't careful. Yeah. Oh, I should move away from that anti-down. Ooh, that was close. So there's plenty of data to go around, and we only need 5. Okay. So here, as you can see in that text box in the bottom, black holes hold the charge of particles they swallow. So right now it just absorbed a whole bunch of down quarks and maybe some anti-up quarks I couldn't see, and now it's got a negative charge. What we have to do in this level is put 4 up quarks in each of these corners. Now the problem is that when you spawn the up quarks over here and here, the negative charge will just suck them straight in. So how you win this level is basically you spawn a few up quarks so you neutralize the charge on the black hole, or make it positive. And then when it's positive, when I spawn the up quarks, then I can now actually spawn the up quarks and they'll be repelled from the black hole, because gravity is a bit weaker than electromagnetic force at that particular distance. And I spawn 4 of them and yeah, just put them in the corners. On the black hole will also decay over time, so it will lose mass, and the less mass it has in this level, generally the safer it is. But if it completely decays before you spawn your up quarks, it can be a problem trying to get the up quarks into the 4 corners. So now I've made the black hole positive, and now I'm just going to spawn a bunch of up quarks and just stick them in the corners over here. Right now, because I'm negative, it's going to be a bit difficult to actually put into the corners, because I just keep getting sucked, keep getting attracted to them. So now, because all the up quarks are positive, they should all fairly repel them into each other into the corners, and I just drag the last one to the last corner. Okay, so this level is actually quite difficult because we have 2 black holes to contend with. Basically what's going to happen is a bunch of anti-down and up quarks pairs and down quark anti-up quarks pairs are going to spawn over here, and they're just going to fly off in different directions. And basically what you have to do is stick an up quark in here. So I've just got to catch an up quark and hold it without it being annihilated by anti-ups or being knocked away. And also I have to contend with the gravitational force and any possible charges that the black hole might have. And you also got to dodge the anti-down quarks as well. So I've caught one over there, and generally you want to do this level fairly quickly, because otherwise the gravitational force does get a little too big little too big, and it becomes a lot harder to um, uh, to get the up quark in there without dying. Also note that the strength of a black hole's attraction is proportional to its mass, so you can kind of guess how strongly you have to go in a certain direction in order to not die, and you just gotta stick the up quark in there. So the left hand side one was a bit stronger, so I should have stayed a bit further away from it than the other one. Doesn't mean you should get too close to either. Alright, so in this level, we have to survive for 60 seconds, so basically just don't touch the black hole, because in this level there aren't any anti-down quarks, thankfully. Survive for 60 seconds, and keep the population count below 18. Basically what's going to happen in this level is a bunch of neutrons are going to keep spawning, and to keep it below 18 you've got to push those neutrons into the black hole, which destroys them. So basically I just nudge the neutron into the black hole like so. Don't get too close to the black hole. Gently nudge them, otherwise they can overshoot, which is a bit of a pain. Okay. Try not to get stuck to the up quark. Oops, that was an overshoot. Okay, so those ones are stuck in now. Don't let the black hole die. So black holes can die if you let them decay to zero mass. Oops. I shouldn't have expelled there. So if the black hole dies, you're kind of done for, because then you have no way of destroying particles. But that is the level. It's fairly generous, this level, thankfully. You can let a few spawn and you can get behind, but you can still win. Okay. So as you can see here, some spawners are less discriminating. Basically what we see are these spawners, which don't have a green border around them, which compared to the other ones which you've seen before. These spawners will spawn if any particle is in them. So basically what's going to happen is a bunch of up quarks and anti-up quarks are going to keep spawning, and then you're going to get pushed towards a black hole. What we have to do is collect 10 data without dying. So pretty much time is of the essence here, because the more particles that spawn, the bigger the black hole gets, and the harder it is to get data without dying, because the black hole applies a strong gravitational force. So basically, don't do anything too heroic, don't get too close, and try and grab the low-hanging fruit of data. So the annihilations which happen close to the spawners, try and grab them, because they're easy to get without dying. Like so. Okay. So this is another one of, I should pause it here. This is another one of those anti-down quarks keep spawning behind you levels, which are super annoying. Basically, and you've also got a black hole to contend with. Thankfully, you do have these down quark spawners, and they can spawn if any particle is in them. But really, since when is an anti-down quark going to stay that long in a spawner? So basically, keep moving. You can try and spawn down quarks behind you to annihilate the anti-down quarks. The time taken for an anti-down quark to spawn is about the same time as a down quark is spawned from the spawner. So unless you have absolutely perfect play, you're pretty much going to have some anti-down quarks chasing you all the time. Okay. Ton anti-down quarks. Ugh. Note that you can use the black hole to try and destroy some of the anti-down quarks, but note that the more anti-down quarks it swallows, the more positive the black hole will become, which means it's slightly harder for the anti-down quarks to be annihilated, to be destroyed by the black hole rather. Or you can just keep spawning down quarks in order to make the black hole negative again, which should keep the down quarks a bit more attracted. There it goes. Okay. So in this level, we have a new win condition, which is make a black hole of mass 225. It's at 20 at the moment. Basically, you just have... So you've got lots of spawners over here. Basically, what you have to do is make a lot of these spawners, activate a lot of these spawners by spawning particles in these spawners, and have those particles activate these ones. So first of all, I'm going to activate these spawners in the middle, so these up and anti-up quark spawners. You've already got some spawners over here activated by electrons and positrons, which will make the black hole a bit bigger. And yeah, just watch me. I'm going to spawn 2 in each of these kind of spawners. So one of them is going to actually activate the inner spawner, and one of them oh, I just lost that anti-down quark to an up quark. Basically, I'm going to spawn 2 of them. One of them is going to activate the middle one, and one of them is going to sit at the other end, repelling the other anti-up quark, the other quark towards the inner spawner. So I have a slightly faster rate of generation. So generally, I want to make the quarks in roughly equal numbers of particles and antiparticles, because then if the black hole becomes too charged, you have some stray particles like that one on the left spawning, which means yeah, and when you have too many particles running around the outside, it does get a tad annoying. Like so. So I'm just going to spawn another up quark over here. That anti-up quark might come back and annihilate one of those up quarks I spawned earlier. Or it might not. So now the inner spawners are all active, and I just have to... Okay, I lost an up quark there. Now I just have to... okay, so those ones are fairly stable. There's no stray up or anti-up quarks running about. So now I'm going to go to the outer ones. So remember again, I want to make them equal numbers, so I'm going to spawn up quark here. That one's going to touch one of those spawners, hopefully. Then I make an anti-down quark. I'm safe from these ones, pretty sure, because I've got a player block barrier and a positive block barrier protecting me from them. So spawn 1 down, 1 anti-down. Then I'll spawn another anti-down, because there are 2 spawners in there, and 2 particles can... Whoops. Can activate those 2 spawners. Spawn another one here. Then I might spawn another one up here. So I think this is one of the shortest chapters, because it's only got, what, 5 or 6 levels. So now it does seem to be going a bit amok with all the quarks everywhere. Maybe because I haven't made it charge neutral. Maybe not, I'm not exactly sure. So those have got 2 particles already. I should spawn another one here and on the left. And the black hole should be getting comfortably close. And it's pretty much just watch the black hole grow now. The inner spawners are going to be consumed by the black hole now because it's big. Oh, it just decayed. Just gotta wait a bit more. And you do have a meter telling you how big it is. And now it's reached 225. You can't escape the black hole now because it's growing constantly now. But that doesn't matter because this is the final level. And just accept my fate. And this is chapter 6 now. So I will see you in the next video.